If you're craving to scrape some restaurant data from Grubhub, I'm going to show you how to legally do this using only your web browser and a freemium tool that we offer. You'll be able to scrape basic data about the restaurant, address, location, phone number, and detailed data about ratings and reviews. The first step is to go to grubhub.com and you can put in any delivery address you want to scrape the restaurants around, or just click see what's nearby to use your current location. It'll plop in your current location, but you can always change it here. Right now I'm in Las Vegas, but I'm going to scrape the restaurants from Miami Beach, Florida instead. And bam, here are 440 restaurants I can scrape in Miami Beach. I'll get the basic details like the name of the restaurant, photo, this detailed review data like what percent said the food was good, and the free text of the top reviewer here. We'll also scrape details not presented on the page like phone number. To get started, right-click somewhere in the page and then click Inspect here to open up your developer tools, which will begin recording network traffic, allowing us to record the raw JSON data used to populate the presentation up here. Now that we're recording, refresh the web page so we can record the first page of results in our web browser. This next step is optional if you want to understand what's going on a little more. Click Fetch/XHR under Network and sort by size descending, and you'll see the raw request populating the data on the page. So here you can see it's calling restaurant/search, and that's returning all the data it's showing on the web page. And then under preview here, we can actually see the JSON that it's returning. So go to search results, then results, and here we see a list of the first page of restaurants shown on the web page. So here we can see details that are not shown on the screen, like the actual address. So this is in Miami Beach. We can see the street address here, as well as coordinates that may be useful. And there's a bunch of other stuff, like here you can see the types of cuisine for each restaurant. You can see some details about pickup, delivery options, minimums, pricing, etc. You can see the phone number here under the phone number object. There's the number to call the restaurant. And to get the detailed review rating, check out faceted rating data, and you'll see here the top review. You can see the text of the actual review, when it was created, and the first name of the reviewer. So that corresponds to here. You can see the actual free text of what they wrote. And you can grab these three numbers here, the percentages of positive reviews for each of those facets under here, faceted rating list. So you can see these percentages here for delivery speed is 92.3%, order accuracy about the same, and then the last one is for food quality, which is a little bit lower, only 90%. One thing I want to call out about Grubhub is that they're calling this API twice, so you're getting duplicate results back for both of these, but it's only using one of them. So Grubhub, if you want to cut your server costs in half, you may want to fix that front-end bug. Anyway, to get all 440 results, we simply scroll down and keep clicking the See More button. This is going to have Grubhub load more and more search results into our browser that we're recording and picking up. We can see the second page of results uses a different URL from the first page of the results. So that's going to make things a little bit trickier down the road, but nothing we can't deal with. Anyway, just keep scrolling and click See More. It may be a little bit tedious, but this is totally legal since we're not using automated access or doing anything that would violate the Grubhub terms of service. You can outsource this if you want, if you have a ton of restaurants and locations you want to scrape. You'll know we hit the end when we stop seeing the See More button. Now the problem is, how do we get all this data that was loaded into our browser out of the browser so we can put it into something useful like a CSV file? So right under the network tab, look for this down arrow called Export HAR and click that, and that will download all this raw data into a file. Now using the link in the description, we're going to use the HAR file web scraper that I provide. It's a freemium tool that will extract out the raw JSON data for you and let you parse it into CSV files for a small fee. So this first group here shows all the subsequent pages, page 2 and beyond, when we kept paginating. You can click these blue links here and download the raw JSON absolutely free without signing up, no strings attached. Now the second group here is that first page of results, which is a little bit special and it's kind of a pain. These are the two duplicate results. We can see they have the same exact file size. You can download those to get the first page of results. But if you need the data as a CSV file, click the Parse JSON button for just one of those requests, and then we can see that JSON data, but formatted into a table we can easily download as a CSV file for analysis or put into a CRM for outreach or whatever you want, as long as it's legal. You can download up to 10 rows of data per day using our free tier on our platform, or if you pay a little bit of money, you can have unlimited downloads. So this table contains every single field I showed you earlier. It just flattens everything out so we can use it in a CSV file. So here we can see some other things I didn't point out last, like we can see if the restaurant is part of a chain. So this here has a chain ID and a brand ID, so we can see if it's part of a restaurant chain, which may be useful depending on what you're trying to do. And here's the total number of ratings, which can be useful if you're trying to estimate popularity of a restaurant. You can see the actual rating values, like these are 4.5, which is pretty good. And here's the phone number field as promised. Just don't make too many prank calls, please. And if you scroll down, you'll see some other collections we parsed out. For example, that faceted rating I showed you before where they have reviews for like delivery speed, order accuracy, and food quality, you can see that collection here where everything is split out and denormalized. You can analyze this easily. When you click download CSV, you'll see a reference to the actual restaurant on the right-hand side. So here are those 3 fields with their values, like the 90% I showed you, as well as more raw data not shown on the screen, like the number of actual reviews. And when you scroll to the right, you'll see a reference to the actual restaurant, like these 3 values are for Taco Rico. So each restaurant will be triplicated here, but that's okay because we have 3 fields for each restaurant and it's denormalized. So that's the first page of results, all 36 rows. But to get the other 404 restaurants, we have to go back to the initial parse page we saw earlier and scroll up to the larger group here, which shows all those other paginated requests, and click parse group. It ends in search listing as of now, but Grubhub may change that in the future. And we'll see everything parsed out, but this time we have 404 rows, which are the second and every other page of the results. And here's the first page with 36 rows. And when you add those 2 numbers together, you get, bam, 440 results, which is everything we found from Grubhub. Now I just click download CSV on both of these tabs to get the full results saved to our computer in CSV format. So here are the 2 files. The fields should be similar, but they'll both have the fields you actually care about. There are a lot of junk fields towards the right side of the file. Sorry about that. To combine these 2, you have a number of options. If you're using a CRM, you can probably just upload both of them to the same CRM. Otherwise, if you're using Excel, you can do something stupid like this. Just copy one column, then deselect the heading from the other file, and then paste it down and below, and you'll get one CSV file with everything in it. This will also help you clean up the columns, since a lot of these are junk columns we don't actually care about. So for example, if I want a list with all the phone numbers and restaurants, I just go and I find the phone number column. I copy it from the first spreadsheet, paste it into my third spreadsheet, and then I do the same thing on the other spreadsheet, making sure I don't falsely copy the heading name by mistake. And bam, now I have a spreadsheet of all 440 restaurants and phone numbers. If you want more data like emails, check out my next video on Foursquare scraping, where you can get email addresses of local businesses.